Previously on Echo.
If you surrender now, you won't have to deal with the consequences of resisting arrest.
Are we feeling froggy? I'm not going with this bitch, actually. I can tell you that now.
You think you're so fucking cool with these big meanies that are beating up a baby, a doctor, a robot, and a hippo? You think you're fucking cool?
I'm down.
Okay, I'm down.
I'm down.
I surrender, please don't hurt me anymore.
And now, a word from today's sponsor.
This show is proudly recorded on Zencastr. When we first started recording our podcast, we had a lot of options. We needed a platform that could record and generate separate tracks and videos with a full suite of professional tools at our disposal. Zencastr does everything for us, and it'll do more for you. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code BaddieBards, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. I want you to have the same experience I do for all my podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story.
Now let's play some fucking D&D.
So, last session, the Captain Zilru Khan surrounded you guys with peace officers and juggernauts and asked you if you wanted to resist or surrender. And Pet sent a voice note to Astra and said, bring the car around, basically. We're on our way. Like, we're about to get active. Mm-hmm. And Short Rib shrieked in Captain Khan's head. And Captain Khan was like, they're resisting, get them. Few turns in, you had the help of the Quetzalhara, your little dinosaur pals who tried to keep the juggernauts off of you, Div. And ultimately, the last person to fall was Short Rib Ragu.
Period.
The last person to fall was Short Rib. And Dr. Bleak surrendered entirely. Dr. Bleak is not paralyzed, but Short Rib is in a paralysis net, and Pet and Div are in paralysis cuffs. So y'all have been taken aboard a transport ship headed by the Captain Zilru Khan, heading for the Aegis, just as Astra touched down on Mapis 66, being left behind as you were taken away.
I
That's what
called
happened last
it.
episode.
I was like, if we can last out for 3 rounds, I think she'll be there. And I believe it ended up like being 3 rounds exactly that we did not last.
Mm-hmm.
Niggas,
well,
put some
y'all
points in the
lasted
Constitution.
2 rounds.
The cops was about to be there in 2.5.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much.
the reinforcements for the peace officers were coming at 3 rounds. Astra was coming at 4 rounds because she's on the moon. But
look though, hear me out. They would have to use their movement, you know what I'm saying, to jump out their ship and shit, and to come to us. Ooh, we would have had it.
We didn't have.
The dice was not on our side.
We didn't have shit. I admire your optimism.
I refuse to believe that we did.
Pain. Suffering.
let's go grab Blue. Okay. So, with that in mind, it's been a few hours aboard this transport ship. And the whole of Wildspace kind of stretches out before you. You've all been moved to separate cells aboard at Captain Khan's orders. Yes.
We locked up,
Continue.
they won't let us out. They won't let us out. We locked up. Which line is in there? They won't let us out.
I'd like to thank you in advance. I'd like to thank you in advance, Alex, for editing all this bullshit out of the final cut.
Thank you.
So the cells sort of make it impossible for you guys to do magic. It's got the same prohibitive measures on it that the isolate did. You've still been manacled with your arms now behind your bodies, with the paralysis cuffs. The effects of the paralysis cuffs have been lowered slightly. There's a dial, apparently. So that you're simply very stiff when you try to move, making it difficult but not impossible, and vaguely painful. You're also within earshot of one another, and you haven't been gagged. You've been fed, given water, all the good fun stuff. Like, they're not treating you poorly here. You're just manacled and in a cell. Your weapons have been taken. And you don't know how long you're going to be traveling or how far away from the Aegis you actually are. Though you can somewhat see the gleam of space outside of the small window in your cell. So things aren't the best. But you were all somewhat together without having something pressing to do other than wait and see. And the first thing I'm going to ask for some rolls here. For Div and Short Rib, I need a Constitution saving throw, please.
Okay. Should I use my physical dice? Please don't fail me. Please.
21.
19.
21?
21 also.
Hell yeah.
Can do
That's
something
good to
for
know.
y'all. It's good
That's
to know.
That's very good to know. Okay.
Do I get a funny feeling, like in my tummy or something? Like.
So
We're moving on. Oh, they're gonna make
Yeah,
us
we're
for you, Short Rib, you feel in this paralysis net, you feel yourself sort of come to, and you're a bit shaken because you're in this net, and last you checked, you were in the air. So you're a bit shaken, and your instinct kicks in and you begin to fight against this net. It's difficult because this is a paralysis net, but you manage to calm and take stock of where you are. And as you were fighting, you felt your body ripple, almost as though a stone had been dropped into a lake. And just the facets of you ripple outward. And with that 21, the ripples peter out and then stop entirely. And you maintain. For you, Div, you are fuming, just furious at being confined once again, having your freedom taken away, having your mobility taken away, and being taken away from one of your friends, at least in the most basic and physical of ways. So you're furious, and that anger ripples through your frame and causes it to creak and jerk in unnatural ways as a pit in the bottom of your stomach begins to swirl like a tornado, a hurricane, a typhoon, rippling through your body of pure rage. And you think of your friend Pet and what would happen if you lost control, and you maintain.
Something's happening on this good day. Oh, bitch. Sorry. Go ahead.
So y'all are aboard this transport ship. You have no way of knowing how long you're going to be here. Let's just go around, because y'all are in these cells, and I'd love to know what's going through your head right now, Dr. Bleak.
Firstly, are there cameras on me?
I'm gonna roll.
Oh,
because I didn't think of that, and now we're gonna see.
Alrighty.
There's one camera.
On me?
Just one.
Yeah, way too many. In that case, Dr. Bleak's, the main thing that's going through her head is to not do anything stupid because there's cameras on her. I think she's going to start like looking at the camera. And I guess just kind of like, we're within earshot of like everyone right now. So if I like talking like a conversational tone, I can be heard.
Yeah.
I'll just talk to the camera then. I would appreciate knowing exactly how long it's going to be until Aegis. I'm trying to see if I can get a nap in or if I should stay awake. I'm just talking to the camera, that's all.
You're talking to the camera. Let me see if you get a response. Because I said there was a camera. I did not say that there was an audio feed. There's no audio feed.
Damn, rough. In that case...
So they can't hear you. They can just vaguely see you.
Cool. Did they take just our weapons or everything? Do I have like basic items and stuff on me, or am I pretty like stripped bare?
Anything that is seen as a weapon, they have taken.
Cool.
So if you had like rations or something on you, then you still have those. But
Cool.
If you like your daggers, your short bows, whatever the hell it is y'all have, those have gone.
Cool. In that case, I will just probably take like a piece of ration of just like some like moldy bread, take a bite of it, chew it, and then just place it on top of the camera lens to just block it.
Let's get acrobatics or athletics. You choose.
Absolutely acrobatics, baby.
Okay.
Hiya.
Is it straight roll?
6.
6.
A robust
Yep.
6.
It's very robust.
This is the transport ship that y'all are on. And you see peace officers sort of traipsing around hither and thither on different consoles, doing navigation, communications, talking to the people at the Aegis, sending out messages and all that good fun stuff. And actually, everybody go ahead and give me a perception check really quickly.
Cool.
Okay.
Doopa-doopa-doopa, doopa-doopa-doopa.
To what? Dirty 20, baby.
Dirty 20.
I got a
10.
24.
24.
15.
Nat 20, baby.
Ooh,
Got a nat 20.
First nat 20 of the
We
stash.
love to
Let's get
see
it.
it.
Yep.
So,
Wake it the fuck up.
Pat, you are not really paying much attention, which is unusual for you. So it seems as though the capture is weighing on you a little bit more heavily than you'd anticipated. But it's a good thing that Div is there, because Div is there to pick up the slack and notices that there's a singular guard between y'all's cells. So how it's set up is that you're at the end of like a corridor, like a hallway. And at the end of that hallway is a chair where a peace officer is sitting. And to the peace officer's left, that is where Div and Dr. Bleak are. And to his right is where Short Rib and Pet are. And y'all are in cells opposite each other. Right?
So who sees who?
And
Like, is it across the way or side by side?
Div and Pet are looking at each other, and Div and Dr. Bleak and Short Rib are looking at each other.
And we're all in separate cells, right?
You're all in separate cells, yes.
Yeah, they knew not to put me with my niggas. They fucking knew.
Oh, well, they still got no problem with us being across the way.
Right. So question, has it been like enough time that we've had like a long rest?
It will be by the time you get to the Aegis, yes.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, as you guys are sort of moving through, I will ask for just a general history check. Anybody who would like to can make one.
I'll do it. I got a -1 to it.
Okay.
I got a 6.
What's a 12
Got a 6.
looking like, baby? You know what?
A 12.
Yeah, yeah.
I got a 14.
A 14. What you got, Dr. Bleak?
I am rocking with a 19.
Hey, wake it up.
Okay. So, here's what you guys know. All of you know what the hub is. The hub is an area of Wildspace that is unincorporated but surrounded by incorporated space. So on the map, I'll show you. The place where it says Haven, that is what the hub is. Now, for you, Doctor...
Sorry.
Where the Aegis resides. Yes. The hub is exceptionally busy. It's a place where a lot of commerce happens. A lot of entertainment happens there. And people do a lot of living there. That's like downtown in the IOC, for what it's worth. And for you, Dr. Bleak, you know what the Aegis is. The Aegis is a place and a group of people at the same time. So the Aegis is where the leaders and representatives of the IOC gather. That's where they gather. But that is also their title. They are the Aegis. So the two are one and the same. And that's what you guys know and as you are going forward. And Pet, what's going through your mind and your cell right now?
Well, I think they're very distracted by two certain things. One thing, internally with themselves is being captured again. Like, it was fun, and it's still kind of fun, but it's kind of dampened now that they yet again are in some type of motherfucking manacle kind of situation, a cell. And so they're kind of on the side, like leaning against their back, like legs crossed together and like leaning against their cell, not really interacting that much. I believe when he first woke up, he kind of like frankly looked if Div was there, and when he saw Div, he calmed down.
Okay.
Secondly, what's on his mind is why Doc gave up. That's simmering in his mind right now. Just sitting there, I'm like, why didn't she continue fighting? So that's what Pet's kind of thought process is. They haven't talked to anyone but along the whole time, but pretty much that's how Pet is right now.
And so for you, Pet, you look across the hallway past this guard who, Dr. Bleak, with that nat 20, you know that this guard is knocked the fuck out. This nigga is asleep. You can hear like snoring coming vaguely from the helmet, and you can see the grip on the force gun sort of dropping a little. So you know that this guard is asleep. And Pet, as you look across to your friend Div, what's going on in your mind right now? How are you feeling?
I'll roll for a second.
Our magic users are not all right.
I think the anger has...
Yeah.
They're still very much like pissed, but more worried about like having that scare earlier with the con saving throw. I think they were really upset and just kind of fuming, and then that happened, and they were like, fuck, like I need to calm down. And so they're able to have like eyes on Pet, so that helped calm them down. And can they see Short Rib right now?
Yeah, y'all are kitty corner. The cells aren't too far apart.
Okay, so it's not like a wall, like
glass.
bars. Got you.
Like this.
So they have
looking
eyes
at
on
Dr.
everybody.
Movie.
Yeah, like I think seeing Pet helped them like calm down, and then secondly being worried about Short Rib, that so being able to see Short Rib is okay, like that was fine. And then I think after like taking in their surroundings and they look at Doc, I think Div is feeling mixed emotions. I think they're feeling relief at Doc being okay, and then like confusion at feeling the relief that Doc is okay, and then also feeling confusion at the fact that also like that Doc gave up. And I think a memory in that moment comes to mind where their own Doc, Dr. JT, has told them, like, you know, listen, sometimes every problem doesn't need to be met with violence. Sometimes you have to think bigger and think smarter about shit so you can get what you want in the end, and then you get your lick back. So I think they're kind of like, was it like that where Doc was, you know, trying to think smart in that moment and they have other plans? Or is it like, is Doc pussy? And so that's where their mind is at. You said we were able to move like in these cuffs, right?
Your hands are behind you, but you can kind of, you know, you don't have a good range of motion per se, but you can move. It just takes a second. It's like your movement speed is halved for all intents and purposes.
I think Div would get up and kick the glass closest to them, like that's like next to Doc, to get her attention. Then, if that's the case,
okay,
just like, and they're just staring, like their little orbs are like, in like they're kind of frowned and like in slits. They're like, I have questions, bitch.
I think Doc will put a finger to her lips and then kind of point to the edge of the hall at the sleeping guard.
Okay, you got a point, baby.
And I'm gonna try and cast message at Div and see if cantrips are also blocks or if it's like magic.
So how does message look like as it goes off in your head?
I think in my head, it's Doc's eyes just going a sort of completely like jet black, and then as she's pointing, like her lips are moving, but like it's the sort of thing where like light travels faster than sound. So like it's the sort of same like emotional sensation of like seeing a firework go off and then like hearing the boom afterwards. And that's when the message comes in.
Work.
So, as you try to create this firework of a message, your eyes go completely black, the whites disappearing into nothing but sclera, I guess. And you feel the pressure of the magic of that prohibitive measure holding you in place. And that is when you finally feel bound, because the manacles themselves are relatively comfortable. But that prohibitive measure is heavy and oppressive, and it squelches out that firework before it can reach Div.
Yeah. I think the Doc will like, because like message is like pointing at someone. So like the Doc is like pointing at Div and like you can see like her like mouthing words and then nothing happens. And I think Doc's face is like sort of like completely blank, completely calm, but like the sort of like multicolored starscape on the inside of her coat like just like shifts like really, really rapidly in turmoil for a second at that. And then there's like a couple seconds before it like sort of like calms back down into that very like stock standard peaceful serenity. We can talk, but we need to talk softly since we wouldn't want to wake our guest.
Magic users are not all right.
And like Doc is like not even like looking at Div. She's like eyes glued onto that guard to make sure that he stays asleep. And like the moment he wakes up, like she's like back and like clammed up.
I'm gonna roll to see how far asleep he is. Y'all want a high number.
Yay.
You got a 17. This nigga's knocked the fuck out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Short Rib said that. And
Night, night, nigga.
Short Rib say that, and it will.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, bitch. Honk soon.
I think seeing, well, hold on. Okay. I think seeing that Div picks up on what Doc is putting down, and so they will just start pacing their cell and just kind of looking around. And I think they'll talk quietly, and I think they'll say, What's your deal, Doc? Why'd you give up?
Yeah, Pet kind of turns now. Pet's not like looking on the corner, right?
I didn't give up. I surrendered.
What's the difference?
The difference is, in case they decided to double tap all three of you while you were unconscious, I still had spell slots to get you back up again. And if I kept fighting, then we might all be dead. What's your deal, Div? If we'd gone quietly, then...
Go ahead.
If we'd gone quietly during the walk back, Astra would have been able to get there in time to free us? If we never gave them a reason to call for backup, we wouldn't be in this ship right now. No, and again, there's like completely calm face, but like that brief turmoil inside the coat, and she will
Do I
button
see that?
it up. I think it's very obvious. It's like the only like piece of color on her. Everything else is like very sort of dull and gray. And at that point, she'll like button the lab coat up so that the inside of it's not showing anymore. Not that I'm blaming you. This was my plan, and it went wrong, and I will get us out of it.
I think Pet finally says, I'm not saying anything after like the whole thing. Doc, are you bored?
I think Doc will just kind of look at Pet. All the time. Are you?
You know what? You know, on the battlefield when that scream happened, I don't know who it's from, but it sounded like something more interesting about you. But right now, running and giving up, that's a really bad port. A very poor taste in my mouth. So are you bored?
Always. Whatever screamed in that fog cloud, that is something that is not good for anyone. Shh, quiet, the god's gonna wake up.
I think Pat is kind of like, actually, it's kind of like, I think right now is really creepy. It's kind of like the Hannibal Lecter spot.
I need insight checks. I need persuasion or deception checks.
Like, I would just wait
I
for everybody
need
to get
dice
their out.
rolling.
Okay, what do you want to
Dice
do?
rolling.
Because this is...
Pet and Div, y'all can roll insight. Short Rib, you can also roll insight because you're hearing this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And Dr.
Hearing
Bleak, you
but not
can roll
listening.
deception or persuasion. You don't tell us which, and let us know your number.
I got a 15 in insight.
15 insight?
What's that?
I got an 18.
18.
I got a 6 on my insight.
6. Okay. And Short Rib, are you rolling or no?
You don't have this,
It's up to you.
this tense conversation go down.
Short Rib listening at all.
Short Rib is listening completely on his own like mental thing, but got a nat 20. So it's clocking whatever's happening.
Fuck
But
yes.
All right, cool. Bet.
So, let me describe what happens. Dr. Bleak buttoned her lab coat. And for you, Div, you were there to clock.
Her hands are behind her back.
Oh,
She ain't button shit.
Good point.
In that case, I'll awkward shuffle shimmy it to be wrapped around.
Just awkwardly close the lab coat.
That's gonna be like a quick little.
Exactly.
Rolling in the cell.
Rolling in the cell, yes.
We could have had it all, baby.
Yeah.
So Dr. Bleak has laboriously and very awkwardly closed her lab coat. And you clocked, Div, when you were having your first conversation, that when Dr. Bleak isn't feeling neutral or normal, something happens in that coat. But the coat is closed. So for you, Pet and Div, you have no reason to believe that she's not telling you the truth. However, for you, Short Rib, there is something in the vibration of her voice that lets you know you may have found a kindred spirit.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
You don't know. You don't know. You don't know shit. You don't know shit.
No clue. I don't know what you mean.
I love it.
Right.
Gang.
And Short Rib, in that moment, what's going through your mind as you are in this cell?
I think so. I think Short Rib was having a great time. I think there was nothing happening. Short Rib was like, yes, with these cool guys, we're not fucking, we're out here. We're in the air, we're flying, we're fighting these pigs, is great. And upon waking up in a net and being like unable to move, is like mortified. I think they immediately assess the amount of light in the cell. What am I rolling for that?
I will say perception with advantage. It's not too hard.
Okay. Ooh, oh, you do not want. Ooh, bitch. Period.
Alex.
Let's see. What's my perception?
I think this episode should be called "The Magic Users Are Not Okay." I'm like, what's going on?
a very robust 15.
There's not a spotlight in here, right? Like you guys aren't under a ridiculous amount of surveillance. Like the camera is small and shitty. And it doesn't have an audio feed or anything like that. And there are places where there is shadow because this is a ship, and the shadow here is a little bit deeper and darker than it would be elsewhere because this is heavy iron, metal, titanium, ridiculously powerfully strong metals. But there is light here, yeah.
So I think so you said when there is movement that can happen in the manacles, I'm in a net. What does that mean for me?
You can move within the net, but that movement is laborious.
Okay, so
and vaguely uncomfortable. It's like trying to run after leg day.
Okay. Oof, okay. So then I think Short Rib would do her best to roll as far towards like the shadiest corner possible. Is that a thing? Would I need to roll for that?
Your movement is halved. Are you trying to hide?
My movement is halved.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're trying to hide? Okay. In that case, we'll go with a stealth check.
Okay. Woof. Okay. Well, I guess this will happen. How's a 4 looking?
That's surprising from you. Not great.
Heart of the dice, baby. Heart of the fucking dice.
So what happens is you try to roll forward and you trip over your own talons and you roll into the shadows and bump your head on the wall with a very loud boom, like that.
So I think Short Rib has been trying to gather himself. And is failing because there's no magic here. And so is trying to at least like scrape everything together and like move, because there's few things that Short Rib like knows, but they know that we can't have. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
So yeah, they're just trying to like, as long as even if we bump our head, right, we're just trying to congeal,
keep it together.
I'll say, you know. So yeah, feeling the vibrations in the ground, like in the floor of the ship, like very acutely, because there's nothing holding focus. You know what I mean? There's nothing to hold focus on. And clocking things that the doc is saying, and sort of like, kind of like very almost as frantically as you could be in this kind of condition, trying to like get it, you know, find your way back. And like upon like kind of clocking that like maybe there's some safety in this group, sort of like kind of like you know, just kind of like lets that sort of not necessarily fall away, but just like kind of there's a tension that is like palpably released from them, sort of just trying to be as away as possible, and then finding a way to be okay with doing what they're able to do. You know what I mean? Like the limitations of being a child and being like suddenly acutely aware. Like it's that moment when you're a kid and you're like snapped into consciousness, like, oh, I'm gonna remember this. It's something like that, like having a realization of like, oh, I'm experiencing this fear for the very first time. And I'm finding a way to cope with that. Obviously not in those words, but with that sort of, you know what I mean? That sort of thing. A similar fear actually to being in the isolate and briefly realizing that there were still like reverberations of like the dampening of magic there. Like it didn't last, but there was like a fear with that. So this is the second time they've experienced that fear, but the first time it's been alleviated by the knowledge that someone is there and may understand.
I got you.
Baby first jail stint.
Baby's first crisis.
Baby's first crisis.
DM, can I ask if Mozaeya sees anything of Short Rib's existential crisis with my nat 20 perception?
Say less.
Did I hear
perception
the knock?
check? With
Cool.
I feel
you
like
hear the
loud.
knock perception. Yeah, I feel like it was pretty loud. Yeah.
Okay.
Because
That's a
he
22
failed a
perception
stealth
on
check.
Mozaeya's part. Yeah.
A 22 perception.
What's going on with your insights
Hearing
today?
the knock, can I roll insight instead?
Yeah.
I think Pet says
15.
everything's all right.
15.
SR.
I think Short Rib rolled a 15, and is like crying a little bit. Is like, don't be mad.
Sorry. Short Rib, don't cry. Oh, my heart. The baby.
15 perception. Or 15 insight.
15 insight.
And 22 perception.
Beats it.
So, beats it. So, Dr. Bleak, you are acutely aware of Short Rib because Short Rib has been basically in your care since you met her. Like, she's been your ward since you caught sight of him. And you hear that thump, and it does not sound like a small creature. And it is not, or one thump. And for you, Div, with that 15 insight, Short Rib is in the shadows, so you can't see them. But you feel a very acute realization that it did not sound like feathers hitting metal. It sounded like flesh.
Can I rage and try to get out these things?
Yeah, sure.
Is it possible? Cool.
Let me. What is rage? Is just a thing you can do as a barbarian, right?
It's just a thing I can do.
It's a thing you can do. Give it a try.
Is it magic based?
It doesn't say.
I don't think so. No.
I think hearing, and the reason why Div is flying into a rage is because hearing Short Rib cry. Mm-hmm. They're like, okay, this is optimal time. The fucking guard is asleep. Short Rib is crying. I don't know what's going on in Short Rib. I can't really see them that well, but I know some funky shit is going on. And I don't give a fuck what's going on. I just want to make sure Short Rib is okay. Because he's
active.
We'll call it either a strength check or an athletics check.
I'll take... They're both the same. So, because I'm raging, my friend, would I happen to get advantage on that roll?
Yes, you do get advantage on the athletic checks if you're raging.
It's strength checks, right?
Yep, strength checks.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Dr. Mozaeya, just real quick say, quietly now, and I'll bardically inspire you so you can add a d6.
Okay, that was cocked. It's 18, 21, and a d6. Hold on. Fuck! My eyelid just got turned inside out. Shit. Oh, bitch, go back to normal. Okay. What's math? 25.
25.
Yeah.
The DC was a 25 to break these cuffs.
Fuck yes!
So,
thank you, Doc!
Describe to me how it looks, because you can't do magic, so you're not in a wild shape, but you are raging.
Look at you, raging.
And these
Cajun.
I was gonna say that.
I will say, you hear Short Rib say, "Please don't be mad," and hear that visceral thump of flesh against metal, which is very unusual for Short Rib. And I'm gonna need another Constitution saving throw, please.
Okay. Con save? 16.
Okay. So as you're raging, that fury that caused your body to creak and jerk in that unnatural fashion, that typhoon in your stomach, it all begins again. But this time you have a handle on it. You have it under control. And you direct the energy of that hurricane in your stomach. And with a simple the paralysis cuffs snap in half, and you can pull your claws to the forefront again. And you've still got the paralysis cuffs on your wrists because you haven't pulled them off, but you did snap the chain that they were on, so you have your full range of motion.
Nice.
Now, what's the guard looking like? The nigga still asleep?
You want a high number? He does kind of snort in his sleep, and it's the thump that wakes him. And he adjusts his hold on his force gun and he goes, "Shut the fuck up out there." And he rolls over and leans his head back again. knocked out.
Okay.
Do I have my communicator on me?
You want a high number?
I believe in the dice.
Yes, you do.
Cool. I'm just gonna snap just a quick picture of this guard asleep at his post.
Sleight of hand check, disadvantage because they're behind your back.
Oh.
Do it. Do it anyway.
What is that to lose? What is that to lose?
Can I do like the acrobat thing? Because like I was cuffed in front of my hands, wasn't I?
Hey yo.
They switched it because everybody was cuffed in front before, but they switched it to behind when they threw you and yourself.
Is the camera in the top corner of the room?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm just gonna like roll my eyes and just like make my way like back up into that corner so that neither the camera nor the crew can see my hands. Mm-hmm. And I'm just gonna like shrink my wrists so that the manacles fall off.
Trying to dislocate your wrist or some shit to take the manacles off?
She said shrink.
An acrobatics check? Right, you did say shrink actually.
Nigga.
What does that mean, Apple?
Ooh.
Don't worry about it.
What does that mean?
Yeah,
Apple?
that works. I had to think about it to see whether or not there was a check you needed to make, but there's really not.
Yeah, so I think
let's see. Are you trying to do this clandestine, or do you just not give a fuck who sees?
I'm trying to do it as like discreetly as possible.
Deception check.
Cool.
With advantage.
Stealth check?
Oh, baby.
Let's go.
No, too late. Deception. Whoop, whoop.
Heart of the cards. Heart of the cards.
24, baby.
Wake it
24?
up. Dr. Mozaeya's excellent day.
The cuffs, you back into this corner and disappear out of the range of sight of this camera. And you have your hands behind your back and you rub your wrists together. And you feel something that almost feels like static. And you hear a very familiar sort of pandemonium in your head, something that you're used to hearing. Very familiar to you.
Yeah.
And your form feels almost as though it's dissolving, but only in the area where you're rubbing your hands together. Very discreetly, you're able to do this. And the manacles slip off of your hands as though they were never there. And you have the full range of motion of your hands.
And I will just pocket those manacles, step back out, just snap a quick picture of the guard taking a rest. Yep. And then just kind of like, just check in on my good friend, Short Rib, see what's happening.
Still sniffling in the corner. Truly, truly pathetic. Honestly.
What's
just
okay?
like,
So there's like a glass screen, and then there's like a door, or
Yeah.
Well, the glass is the door.
okay, is
Like,
there,
it slides along like a metal housing.
Can Div kind of tap it to see like, or gauge like what they can do to move this fucking door?
Is the wall between us like concrete?
It's glass.
Metal.
Oh.
What
I don't think-
performance would I have to roll to sing at a frequency to break this glass?
Oh. Oh, nigga.
I forgot you were a fucking bard. Okay.
You
So they didn't take like your voice or your instruments. They might have taken the big instruments, but not your smallest one. So we will call it a performance check. I would say with advantage, but the disadvantage would cancel it out, so it would just be straight.
cool. I'm not proficient in this, so it's just vibes.
We are vibing.
Damn. All right, that's a 15. Good old hefty 15.
A 15, you have a lovely voice, and your performance seems to sink the guard deeper into sleep.
Yay.
But it doesn't really do anything to the glass. It's too thick.
Cool. Cool.
Can I like kind of tap it and feel it out to see whether this glass is able to be like slid or broken, or even if I could use like the tip of my claws and do like a circle, you know what I'm saying? And then make that shit fall.
What would that be? Probably investigation. That.
Okay, fuck it. Up to the dice. My -1 to investigation.
Oh no.
Let's go.
Then is a
You can do perception as well.
I can do perception? Okay, I'll do perception then. Damn.
Do y'all mind if I get active?
Go for it.
Please.
I got a 22.
Ooh,
word.
Tell me information.
That'll fucking do, dude.
Tell me information.
This glass is very thick. And it's not your run-of-the-mill glass made of sand. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just glass. It's glass with like a filler that is tougher than glass, if that makes sense. So it's on this like sort of track that the opening to that door is on the outside. And so you could attempt to break it, but it would make a lot of fucking noise. You could attempt to scratch it, but you wouldn't get too far.
Okay. I think Viv will share that information and say that, you know, the door is on the track and the opening's on the other side of the door. And I think they'll also say, Short Rib, I don't know what's happening, but breathe in through your nose, hold it for 4 seconds, breathe out your mouth for 7 seconds. Just breathe, and we're gonna find a way out of here.
I think, yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead first, because I'm about to get active.
I think Short Rib, like, in being calmed by Dr. Bleak being there, I think is able to hear that and like does like very gently breathes in and out and like is sort of like okay.
Yeah, we're not mad at you, Short Rib. You've done absolutely nothing wrong. If anything, I have so fucking much to teach you. And with that, I think they will just kind of move around their cell and they'll look for other ways to get out. Or actually, no. I think Div actually will look at Pet and kind of just with their eyes try to communicate, like.
So which one of us is going to have the seizure
Big
that
blinks.
makes the
You
god
can
open?
audibly hear their blinks. Like, they're like, shit is weird.
Do you need? I'm like.
The
magic use is not okay. That is not what Pet says. But
Listen, we are not okay.
Pet stands up, kind of like brace himself on the wall because their hands are behind them, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And you told me about the glass being on a track, right?
Yes. Uh-huh. Who got mage hand? I got mage hand.
Wouldn't matter.
You're right.
Y'all
we ain't
wanna?
got no magic.
Do y'all want to?
You got magic?
I don't have magic.
I was thinking that one of us could have a seizure, which would make the god have to go in there to help us and administer some kind of
I got
medicine.
something better.
Short Rib. Can Short Rib try to? Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say Pet's gonna stand up and turn backwards against one of the railing of the glass. I want to try to tear it off its tracks.
Slay.
Can I do that?
Strength or athletics, up to you.
Okay, let me tell you this. I got an advantage either way.
That's fine. Let's see.
God, damn.
Honestly,
All
like
right.
upon seeing what Pet is doing, can Dip also do the same? I'm still rating right now. This will be a great time to do some shit like that.
Sure.
I think
Strength
Pet
or
could
athletics?
definitely. Okay, what do I want
Can
to
just
do?
forcibly move it along the tracks. Okay.
And while they're
Oh shit!
doing
That first one was a
I'm doing
nat one.
definitely athletics. I'm just gonna. Let me go ahead and roll that with advantage. Not 20.
Let's go. Wake
That
it
makes
up.
it 23. Not 20, baby.
Fuck yes.
I'm backwards, and I feel my fingers tip through the glass.
Damn. What muscle
And
does that even
try-
activate? What the
I don't
fuck?
know. It hurts.
So-
It hurts me right now.
Ass nigga. That's all we need to know.
What happens? What did you roll?
Oh shit! I fucking was playing with my dice. I honestly don't remember, but it was like below 10. I remember that.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
So, here's what happens. Div, you mirror Pet standing up, turning around, bracing himself on that glass, trying to kick it out of place. And as if through like magic, the two of you count off in sync. 1, 2, and then kick the glass behind you. For you, Div, you make a bunch of fucking racket and startle the guard out of his sleep. And for you, Pet, you are able to kick this screen out of place. And there's a little opening now at the very bottom. It's like maybe 2-3 feet. Like it's kicked out of place, and the top of it is leaned in. So it's like that.
So as soon as that happens, right, can Short Rib try to... So explain this net to me. Is it like a bag or is it just like a throw net?
It's both. It's a net that is a bag.
It's a net that
Like
is a bag.
it's a net that is a bag. So like it has the little cross hatching of a net. Like so it has little holes for you to peek in and out of.
Mhm.
But you see the bag and it's sort of cinched at the end with like a little basically like a little twist tie thing,
Oh, okay.
like a cybernetic twist tie.
So theoretically, right, I could untwist that.
Well, it's not made of like aluminum or whatever. It looks like a twist tie, but it's like it closes like a ring.
Okay. How large are these? Is the mesh?
Not large enough for one of your hands.
One of.
Okay. All right. Well, fuck it. Never mind,
You have more than one hand, don't you?
nigga.
Hey, I do.
Everything
part
sounds
two?
suspicious. Don't say that like nothing. Everything you say doesn't sound suspicious right now. You mean more than one eye.
Niggas is like, oh, DM against DMs. Wow, that's crazy.
The producer against the DM.
Yo.
Can I do
All right.
part 2?
What else would you like to do?
Can I rip the glass off the hinges and see if I can hit the guard with it?
Yes.
Because I know I knocked it off thing, and there's a little hole. But can I just?
Your hands
rip
are
the rest?
still behind you.
Oh, okay.
Your hands are still behind you. You haven't taken off the manacles.
Okay, that is
so
true.
that would still be a problem.
I guess-
Speaking of the guard, actually, he gets up out of his chair and is like, you see this dumbass looking peace officer shaking his head and going, oh, you guys make so much noise. I'm gonna go get the captain. And he walks off to go and find the captain.
Okay.
And you hear over the intercom, you hear now pulling in, everybody to your stations. And it seems, as you take a peek out of the window, you see that you have made it to a much more densely populated area. The ship is surrounded by other ships of all shapes, sizes, colors, and creeds. And you see planets that have like massive signage above them advertising like rest stops and tchotchkes that you would find on the road, greasy, shitty food for like international freighters, interstellar freighters and whatnot. Everything a traveler would need in the IOC. And as you finally like sort of break through this dense traffic heading through in and above and through Haven, you see a sort of middling planet that seems to glow in radiant technicolor, like it has its own nebula as a planet. Greens and blues, purples, pinks all over. And in the darkness of Wildspace, you see this planet ringed in like jagged purple crystal and shadowed with two dark and gloomy sort of moons on either side. And you hear the captain over the intercom, and as she speaks, you can detect almost a sigh of relief from her as she pulls y'all in. And so you know that you're here.
I think
Aegis.
Seeing that, Mozaeya will go, all right, now's not the time to escape. When I say, astral, that's when, shit's about to pop off. I'll try and do my best until then.
I said not my daughter's name.
Cool, fine. I'll say supernova, then that will be popping off, I guess. Supernova, whatever.
Supernova girl.
Mozaeya's gonna put her cuffs back on discreetly again. Cool.
Rude.
I think Pet is seems like it's settling down and everything. I think I'm going to lean against the hole I made and look like I knocked out.
That's a 4 on stealth.
Woo! We're doing great, gang.
Can I pretend my cuffs are still on?
Deception check for you too.
Wait, it was
Sure,
deception?
You were stealth.
Oh. Okay, I was stealth. All right, never mind. Cool.
Can Short Rib start crying
saw.
again? Oh my god,
I got a 9.
You got a 9 on deception?
Yeah.
Damn. I rolled a fucking 18 to cry.
I think Pet's convinced. It's okay. It's okay.
You hear
we
Short
gotta get
Rib
out.
sobbing. And as Short Rib is sobbing, it actually provides a decent enough distraction for you, Dr. Bleak. Go ahead and roll your stealth check.
I beg
Gotcha,
of you.
I got a 16 on my deception.
All right.
16 on deception. You look as though you have never released manacles a day in your fucking life.
Cool. That's a nice 14 for stealth. And I think hearing Short Rib cry, I think Dr. Mozaeya is actually going to start like trying to sing in earnest now, like trying to calm them down, just trying to like try and make things a bit less scary, I think.
Oh, no.
What-
Yeah.
What song?
No, Short Rib is still crying and looks over and winks at you.
But cool.
Wait, can they see you?
Yeah, assumedly.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
you
we
are
see
in
a
the
little fucked
shadows.
up one.
Oh, never fucking
Yeah.
mind.
Do you
Never
want
mind.
them to see you? Okay.
Oh, I didn't look. I never said that. I just thought we were already being like led out. So I was like, all right, well, shit.
Well, y'all are about to be. As a matter of fact, you hear the footsteps of the Juggernauts and the captain coming down this hallway.
Yeah.
And for you, Dr. Bleak, you were able to clip your manacles back on your wrists. That dissolution feeling, again, in your wrists as you rub them together to pull the manacles back on. And you do it just in the nick of time because the Juggernauts are opening the door. Well, 3 of the doors. Because Pet's door is off its tracks. And you see Pet sort of leaned over trying to look as though he's been knocked out. And he's breathing mad hard, dog. Like, you can tell that this nigga is alive as fuck, right? Yes, full damsel, the whole nine. Like, it's so dramatic, right? And this juggernaut,
I've fallen.
Can
I
I
can't get
ask-
up.
to see how convinced they are.
Can I ask if they let Pet keep their wig? Pet still has their wig,
Yes, they
right?
did. Pet
Okay,
does
cool,
still
cool,
have
cool.
his wig.
I remember
Can
that being
I,
mentioned
like-
last roll for thickness.
Can I kind of help out in this moment and like I guess put and kind of like bang my head on the fucking glass and just be screaming and trying to distract them?
I've fallen. I can't get up. Please.
Like straight up just
My
going
head,
fucking nuts
my
in
head.
myself.
So, this juggernaut is not the smartest person in the world. So, the juggernaut looks over at another one of the juggernauts and goes, "Hey, Johnson, was this door broken 5 minutes ago?" And Johnson looks over and goes, "Must have been, huh? Whatever. Captain says get him out of here."
I cry louder.
It's real rough out here for Johnson.
So as the juggernauts sort of open your doors and bring you guys all out, and you feel the velocity of the ship begin to slow, and you guys now can mark your long rest.
Oh.
Yeah, finally.
It has been, yeah,
And it was
you can mark
over,
your
and it
long
was
rest.
over.
Cause I was
Everybody.
one hit point, bitch. Like scary times. Okay.
Yeah, everybody was at 1 HP. Everybody's kosher.
Yeah,
Go ahead and mark
really.
your long rest. You guys
Speak for yourself. I'm showing
feel-
the 13th.
Oh, please.
I think that is like Fantasia on that stage, just like react. That's what. Like this. Oh my head. And who's walking by me? Like, are we
juggernaut.
in
The
a
juggernaut.
line?
Yeah, y'all are in a line.
Oh, okay.
And y'all you have one person in front, juggernaut. One person in front, juggernaut. And that's how you guys are making your way out of the ship through security clearance into.
So what? They're just carrying short rib in
I
this
was gonna say,
net?
in a
Yes, they're
bag?
carrying short ribbon and
I was
net,
gonna
yeah.
say, is there?
Oh.
So you said there's like a twist tie situation. Is there any way that while they are carrying me, how are they carrying the bag?
by the twist tie or by the little ring that's holding it closed.
Okay. And so as it's like moving around, can I just start like putting my talons outside of the no, actually that wouldn't even work. Never mind.
Yeah,
Forget
it's
everything.
still like paralystic thingy. going on.
Yeah, right. Okay, never mind.
And as the juggernauts sort of bring you out, whatever setting they had the paralysis cuffs on before, they've increased it again. I will need Constitution saving throws from all of you, please. Just to see whether or not you are paralyzed or if you can still do that rough movement.
Okay.
Nat 20, baby. Eat my ass.
Nat 20, you're perfectly fine.
Constitution saving though, you said?
Yes, please.
Oh, Short Rib is screaming. Oh!
18.
I got a 20, not nat.
A 20 not nat, you're perfectly fine. Let me see.
I got
Got an
18.
18. Yeah,
Look,
we're rocking
18.
18.
Ratchet.
Beautiful. So, as you guys are let out, the paralysis cuffs don't seem to have the same effect on you, and now that you are rested and have been fed and watered, and you guys are led out into an eco-punk utopia for what it's worth. This is the Aegis. This is a planet that hosts a city that hosts the leaders of the IOC. That is what this place is. And you see like hover trams and stuff flying like hither and thither all throughout the sky. And one of these hover trams is actually stopped right in the hangar bay where the ship is parked. And the Juggernauts bring you guys onto the hover tram along with Captain Zilru Khan, and you all make your way through the halls of the Aegis into what essentially amounts to a waiting room of quartz and mithril. And this modern like space station situation is where the Aegis is. You see a massive stronghold of quartz and mithril and titanium, vibrant blue and green light shooting up through the towers to the very top, sending out transmissions and signals and broadcasts throughout the IOC. And as you guys are in this waiting room, the captain is standing at attention. She's got her hands behind her back, very stiff, as though she doesn't know how to relax. And the Juggernauts have you guys held, but you have the ability to do that really rough movement. And it takes about 15, maybe 20 minutes before you guys hear a sort of sibilant hiss as one of the doors slides open, and out comes this Thrycreen with a massive like mantis head, giant eyes, long antennae curled down over themselves, a thin feminine figure, 2 pairs of arms, little pincers, and as they speak, their mandibles kind of click together, and they say, "The representatives will see you now." And they gesture with 2 out of those 4 arms that you guys are to follow them into the room. And as you do, you see 4 very different creatures. You see a Githyanki woman, a Dowar, like penguin person, you can't tell their gender. You see a very large, very big bellied gelatinous plasmoid, and you see a crystal blue astral elf sitting at like a half moon of a table, chairs made of quartz and crystal. And the woman that stands forward and speaks to you first is the Githyanki woman. And she has pale golden skin, long dark hair pulled back in a low ponytail. And she's wearing like this rich dark blue cloak, and stands from this circle, leaving her fingers grazing the top of the half moon table. And she says, "You did well, Captain Khan. I knew that I could trust you with this." And the captain gives a very stiff salute and nods very sharply, and she says, "We have their records right here, Commissioner Zarek." And the captain steps forward and gives the commissioner a glowing tablet. And I will have you guys give me a perception check real quick.
Alrighty.
Not nat 20.
What's
30,
going on
18.
today? What's going on
18.
today?
I got a 12. No. 13, baby. Ooh.
13.
I got a
Wow.
13 too.
13. So the people to notice it actually are Div and Dr. Bleak. The tablet that the captain hands off to Commissioner Zarek is a very long crystalline tablet that has, you guys notice, your records pulled up on them. For you, Dr. Bleak, you see your employee records at the isolate. And for you, Div, you see your criminal history. It's very quick flash as the captain sort of steps past and heads towards Commissioner Zarek. And Commissioner Zarek looks at the tablet, looks up at the 4 of you, and says, "We'll take it from here, Captain." And the captain, you feel yourselves being put on your feet. And they take off your paralysis cuffs. And
I punch the first guard I can.
roll me an attack roll.
I know. I shouldn't.
Okay.
I want to. I want to. Honestly.
Remember. All do what your character would do, buddy.
And I am. I'm gonna roll a fucking attack roll. I'm gonna roll an attack roll because dude would absolutely try to fucking smack that fucking tablet out that bitch's hand. What are you talking about?
Yank.
Bitch is mine. Fuck you talking about? Am I still raging?
No, you guys have long since passed that point.
Okay,
And
cool.
the captain has already taken the tablet.
I'm taking it.
Yeah.
Is the captain near us again?
No.
Ooh, that bitch lucky.
She's still
I'm gonna try to punch the first guard I see. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm really, really, really sorry for Dib's behavior, but
be your character.
Apologize. Get in it. Stop apologizing. Get in it.
Oh my god.
No. What?
Okay, so I use the hand axe for my claws. A 21.
A 21 to hit. That hits.
Period.
I just immediately want to just turn around to the nearest, like whatever guard is on me. Or actually, who's like? Let me look on Roll20 because we're in a line. So it's Peck, Short Rib, me, and Mozaeya. I actually want to hit the guard holding Short Rib's net instead, and I just want to fucking. Matter of fact, can I grapple this nigga?
It'll be an opposed strength check.
Cool. I just want to. Can I use the same roll, or do you want me to roll again?
You would have to roll again because you're trying to. That was an attack roll, not a strength check.
I will do that then because I want him to let go of Short Rib.
It would be an athletics check. Sorry.
Athletics. Okay, 16. 19.
Huh. So this is what happens. As you go to grapple this guard, the guard quick turns around and grabs hold of you, and the two of you are sort of locked in, hitting one another. And
so he let go of Short Rib, though.
Purchase.
But he
wasn't holding Short Rib in the first place. He had put you guys down on your feet.
So Short Rib is like out of the net and shit?
Oh, yeah.
I'm still gonna do that. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's fine. Like, he rolled a 19 as well. So you guys, neither one gets the advantage. And you see Commissioner Zarek go, stop.
I headbutt the nigger for just for flavor.
You headbutt what?
I want to headbutt this guard just for flavor, and then I'll let him go.
Well, I guess roll an unarmed strike.
Love it.
Which one's Commissioner Zara?
I rolled a nat 20.
Wake it up.
You do double damage to this fucking guard. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Like, we're just locked in a hug, and the commander's like, stop. I'm like, okay. Just take back my helmet and just land it forward. Square on this fucker's face.
Yo.
Truly massive, heavy-ass helmet, and I roll damage. That is... I rolled a 14 on my damage. Wait, actually, no, I'm sorry. Bludgeoning damage is a what for me? I'll just roll my bludgeoning damage in D20. I mean, roll 20. It's a 4 because it's an unarmed strike.
Okay, so they take 2 damage. And the guard immediately raises his gravity hammer, and you hear the commissioner says, "You all behave like animals." And the guard, like, everything stops for a second. And the captain says, "They weren't easy to catch, Commissioner. We just happened to be good." And she turns on her heel and walks out of the room with her 4 juggernauts, leaving the 4 of you alone with the leaders of the IOC.
Excuse me.
Oh my fucking god!
Did your mom name you Commissioner?
Did your mom name you Commissioner?
I think Pet is just like, they're along with us.
Well, y'all don't have y'all's equipment either.
Yeah.
It's still back on the ship. And the commissioner looks to you, Short Rib, and sort of raises her eyebrow and then straightens her cloak on her body and says, "You all are not going to make this easy." And that is where we're going to leave it for today.
Damn.
Nope.
Okay. That's not a no.
Exactly.
Did
That
her
was a
mom name her
because of-
commissioner?
that was a fan, like a hand fan that was unfurling.
Hey, it's Satine. If you enjoyed this episode, give us our roses by rating us 5 stars and writing a lovely review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Want more BaddieBards? Our social media details are in the description below. And remember, we are here. Bye!